Welcome back to the channel, good friends. Brian from Apex Detail. Today we have a highly requested video, especially in our group. And if you're not a part of the group, I'll put a link down below to the Apex Detail support group. This is where we share a lot of information and has everything and anything to do with detailing. Today I want to share with you my experience with the Meguiar's Hybrid Paint Coating. We're not so much here today to get into what the box mentions, which can be misinterpreted by some, including myself, compared to what they may have intended. Instead, what we're going to get today is my experience with the product and sharing some facts with you. Now, this bottle here, it's a 6-ounce bottle of the aerosol coating. It does have a coating with aerosol components so you can spray it. And what that does is that'll cut down on the product curing prematurely, like if you had a glass bottle and you open it and it gets introduced to oxygen, it's going to start to cure right away immediately, even if you cap it properly. Well, in an aerosol can, you can avoid that. And the kit comes with 2 microfiber towels, a nice size. Rip those tags off. It comes with an applicator, and it comes with a nice detailed set of instructions. Prep, maintenance, and application. The kit also comes with a surface prep, the M122, which is, my guess, is just an isopropyl alcohol mix, so you can probably use any panel prep and would work perfectly. All you need to do is, for 3 seconds, mist the product from the can onto the applicator. Now, I never use an applicator or microfibers right out of the bag new. I will wash them first because they will pick up contaminants from shipping. So I have my own block applicator and microfibers. You can wait and wash what came with the kit first and use everything included in the kit. That's perfectly fine. Application. Spread out the product onto, they mentioned a 2x2 section. I can tell you, using the product, you can apply to half of the hood and have plenty of time to grab your towels and start to wipe it off. If you are in a controlled environment, 73 degrees or higher, wait a minute with the product on the panel, give it a chance to start to bond, and then grab your first microfiber, which will level out the coating and pull as much of it up into the microfiber as possible. These towels get clogged up quickly with the product as it's very thick and viscous. Use the second microfiber to come in and buff to perfection. If you take your time, it's really hard to leave high spots behind. But just in case, as soon as you're done applying the coating to the whole vehicle, back it outside and walk around, and the high spots will stick out like a sore thumb. All you have to do from there is wipe it off with a towel. If it's a day or two, or I can even tell you a couple days later, just put some of the product onto an application pad, rub it into the affected area, and it will remove the high spots. Let me here give you a first-person view so you can see the rainbow effect that may come with many coatings. Not all coatings, but some coatings have this effect which kind of gives you the hint that, hey, it's soon time to start wiping this off the panel. It's a rainbow effect of colors within the formula. Use a cross-hatch application method, which means you're going left to right and then up and down, or in an X motion. Well, this ensures that you're giving complete coverage to the panel, and there's that rainbow effect that we were talking about. Okay, I did mention if you were in a controlled environment, 73 degrees or higher, let it sit on the panel for a minute before wiping off. If it's a little cooler than that, you can still apply it, but then wait longer towards the 5-minute mark before starting to wipe off. And if you have a really warm climate, a lot warmer than 73 degrees, you can start to wipe off immediately after applying to a section just like maybe half of the size of this hood here. You can see the first microfiber, it absorbs as much as it can before it then just starts to push the coating around, and that's where that second microfiber comes into play. Grab that and buff to perfection. You can ensure that you're not leaving any high spots behind. You may go above and beyond the 2 microfibers they give in the kit. I know I did, as you know, they can only absorb so much. When you're finished with the towels, discard them, as they will lose absorbency, and that includes the applicator. If you decide to add a second layer, do it after an hour has gone by after applying the first layer, and it's the best time to do it actually. The longer you wait after that hour, the more the coating will start to reject itself as you start to apply the second layer. That goes with just about any coating, but I thought I would mention it here. A second layer, I don't know how much more benefit it adds to the first layer, but I can tell you it will help ensure even coverage on every panel. Just continue that same process all the way around the vehicle, and in no time at all, you'll have it coated. I can tell you this. I don't know if gloss increased. We will find that out on the test panel, but it did not take away from the gorgeous finish that this X5 had to begin with, especially after paint correction. Now's a good time to talk about cure time. Give it a good 24 hours before you introduce it to moisture or free-flowing water, and then wait 7 days before washing. Once the 7 days has passed, do get into a habit of washing it regularly. And you can also top it with their many other products, their SiO2 quick detailer, their ceramic wax. They have many products that you can use to maintain and just stretch the longevity of the coating. As we get to the test panel, and you can use this as a topper. I've used this successfully on the topper of existing coatings and on top of paint protection film. But this was best and intended to be used as a standalone. So if you're going to do that, you want to prep the surface properly. You get the most out of each product if you prep. Prep is key. That means a wash, decon, full decon, eye remover, clay, panel prep to remove any old waxes or sealants, a paint correction or enhancement or one step, whatever pleases you. And then you are good to go with a panel prep one more time. You can use their panel prep or any other, as they're all very similar, an isopropyl mix and some other ingredients. And then the green light to apply it. This coating here is not a ceramic coating. It is a polysiloxane coating, silicone coating. It is intended to last for a year. It's been out for a few months, and those that have had it since the beginning are telling me they are going on 8 or 9 months strong. We will see what it does in my territory. Okay, all we have to do now is wait for some curing time to go by, and that's going to be 24 hours. And when we come back, I can tell you the slickness feels off the charts. It's one of the main things that really stands out with this coating. Compared to the rest of the panel, it just feels extremely slick, and this is evident by the block not even standing still for me to grab the hood and tilt it, in which that slides right off. When it comes to gloss, I didn't see a huge jump in the sections we applied to and the vehicles I applied to. And when you use the gloss meter, it does add maybe a few tenths of a unit. And it actually takes 4 or 5 gloss units before you can see a difference with the naked eye, with the human eye. So if you're looking for a huge bump in gloss, this is where the product lacks some aggressiveness. Something also that I'd like to share with you, it does add a bit of physical thickness to the surface you're protecting. We can see a jump of a few tenths of a mil thickness on the panel. You don't get that with every protectant that I have used. Mostly it takes a full-blown ceramic coating to get anything measurable out of a protectant. This will give you something you can actually see and get some numbers behind. So another thing we can test is how it deals with high temperatures. We're going to hold this heat gun in one place until we reach 160 degrees or hotter or higher. And then when we take it outside and start to abuse it a bit, we'll see if that area has failed or not. So keep an eye in that corner. While we're doing that, let's think of something else. This can here is 6 ounces. And I noticed it takes a little bit over an ounce to protect a medium-sized sedan. So you can either protect 5 vehicles, or you can protect one car for a little over 5 years by just reapplying every year, year and a half. So that's one can, which you can now get at half price at some places, compared to a full-blown coating that Some will protect for the same amount of time for $99, $100, $150, $200. So that's just something to chew the fat on. So let's take this panel outside and we remove the tape. It doesn't give you a jetting effect. It will not show you differences where you have applied the product, making it darker or glossier. But you sure, when introduced to water, can see where it's protecting. Really high tension on the surface and crazy beading. Time for a little bit of a torture test just to give us an idea of what this might be able to withstand. I mean, there is no substitute for what Mother Nature can throw up at a car. And I don't mean just sitting around for a year. I mean out on the roadways, being introduced to brine, road salt, extreme sun and heat, and traffic film from everything a car will and can leak. From antifreeze to transmission fluid to gas to oil, all mixing together when it rains and then splashing up on your car. I mean, with all of that together, there's not really much we can do to match that in testing, but we can introduce it to chemicals to see what it can withstand. And we've had some products that fail rather quickly. This thing here, I can tell you, has no problem whatsoever with the 10-wash test, which includes Adams strip wash and auto foam from Build Hamber, which the more you apply, the higher the pH alkaline goes. No problems whatsoever. Okay, let's dry off the panel, step up aggression, and that way whatever we spray on the panel won't be diluted from the water. And we'll start with a wheel cleaner or iron remover. Then we can go to an all-purpose cleaner, and we'll go from there. You can see that whatever I spray in the section for the next couple rounds, the product beads it. It'll bead just about anything and just fights it off. Okay, this is an all-purpose cleaner, full strength. Okay, next up is a panel prep, but not just any regular panel prep. This is a strong solvent-based panel prep. So this coating here is getting introduced to chemicals up and down the pH scale. We'll let it sit on there for a few minutes. We'll rinse it off. You can see it's even starting to bead the coating in a few places. I saw down on the lower left-hand corner it's starting to sheet a little bit, but we'll keep an eye on that. And finally, what I brought out here for the testing is Citral 266, and those that follow the channel know that this does a great job killing some of the minor spray sealants out there. So let's give it a good layer and see what happens. Beading Citral 266. You don't see that often, and I can share with you this has already gone way beyond what I have expected. One more round with Citral. And that pretty much did in whatever they added to give it its hydrophobic properties. It does not mean, you can see it sheeting really quick here, that the protection's gone, because I can tell you it's not. The protection is still there. It's just whatever they added to give it that extreme beading has been beat up a little bit. This is something I can recommend if you're not ready for that full-blown ceramic coating.